Hi everyone, Gung-fu Man here. Over the years I've made a lot of comments on various videos, and a lot of people ask me a lot of different questions regarding the martial arts. Now, one of the things that there's a lot of confusion out there over, and this is true of the martial arts in general, there's just so much confusion out there about so many things, is conditioning, the proper way to condition, how to condition, specifically the hands. I'll probably be doing some other videos on the proper way to do some body conditioning. There's a couple out there by a guy dressed as a Shaolin monk. He's giving some basic ideas that are correct, but it's not complete. All right, there are a lot of little subtleties. In the martial arts, I've been into real Gung Fu for nearly 28 years now. It likes to be 28 years in May, and it's currently March when I'm making this video of 2012. So, and I learned the old style system. The teacher that my teachers learned from is well over 100 years old. He was taught back before the Cultural Revolution of Communist China in 1949, when they deleted a lot of the actual fighting aspects of Gung Fu in particular, a lot of the discipline technique training, a lot of the internal training, in order to prevent any uprisings against the communists. If you study the history of China, you know that all successful uprisings occurred when the martial artists united, particularly led by the Shaolin, which is one of the reasons why the Shaolin Temple was always under attack by the Manchus and the Mongols and the Qings, etc. So they deleted a lot of that stuff, and then from there, a lot of the karate arts today stem from the now wushu version of Kung Fu, which is just martial sport. And in the translations and in the as the art spread further and further from China, a lot of different ideas crept in, and a lot of information became lost because they wanted to make a lot of the karate arts were invented for the wars in the 16th century, and they had to have a super shortened version. So they only took the most basic elements from the first year and a half or 2 years of Gung Fu training, and they trained those aspects. And unfortunately, a lot of the little details and a lot of aspects of the art that really made you to get to a level of Gung Fu masters you kind of see in movies, which is possible. Those levels of power, speed, invisible speed, killing power, breaking, taking down walls, with the palm strike. That stuff is possible, but there's so few people left today who know the art, and even fewer who are even trained in those arts. I was fortunate enough to come across a friend of mine who learned those, one of the few left alive that knows those arts. There are probably some more scattered around, but you're not really going to find them in probably just about any school left. For the most part, you might find a few around the world, but a lot of the real teachers are just kind of teaching privately, and they don't advertise and so forth. So it's very difficult to really find the real art. So I can understand there being a lot of confusion and a lot of lack of knowledge out there. So now in Gung Fu, a lot of places, a lot of arts like to use boards to condition on makiwara boards and so forth, especially in karate. In Gung Fu, we usually like to start off with bricks. You can start off with boards. Boards is good to condition on. But particularly, I like to start off using bricks. Me in particular, I like more natural objects, so I like rocks. I have several of them scattered around here. I also use them in weight training and so forth. So when you conditioning on any hard surface, even if it's wood, the one really good thing to do is to get yourself a towel and you wrap it up in a towel. This is true if it's a brick, like I said, even a board, because it's good to do this because it protects the skin. All right, it doesn't matter even if it's a smooth rock. If it's a smooth rock, it's not as big a deal, but even if it's wood, it can callus and chafe. And again, looking at my hands, you can see a little bit here because I've been doing some conditioning without the without a towel on. But in general, most people, my skin is soft. Most people would never realize my hands are, very, very hard. I can break concrete slabs with them, bread bricks and so forth. Because again, it doesn't really have any, the skin is normal looking. All right, and that's why we put this around a towel. The towel does not absorb. It's not going to make it any easier. If you're breaking or the condition, it's not going to take away from that, because especially something like this is rock, and it's obviously rock. It's very hard. So now, the actual techniques of condition, again, I got this rock like at a local quarry, nice and flat. It's flat on the other side. It's good for a lot of things. I use it for multiple aspects of training. The way you want to condition, all right, in Gung Fu, we typically use sort of with a low number like 100 strikes. All right, and there are 5 parts of the hand you can condition. You condition the edge hand, which is called the knife hand in karate. We call it cutting palm. All right, there's different aspects. Some schools teach just the front part. Some teach the whole part of the hand here, that kind of you know, the whole part of the hand from the wrist to the first joints, the knuckle joints. Others teach the back part along with the edge of the bone and part of the wrist as the actual cutting palm. It doesn't make that much of a difference. You just have to be careful whatever part you're conditioning. All right, now when you condition, doesn't matter what part of the body it is, first thing you want to do, you want to warm the hand up. All right, whatever part you're conditioning. So if you're going to condition all parts of your hand, you give yourself a general massage, warm the hands up, get blood and chi moving to that part of the hand, especially the more sensitive areas like the fingertips, because you do have a lot of nerves and meridians that end in the fingertips. So you do want to warm those up. Same for your bony areas like the knuckles. You're going to condition those. All right, so you want to make sure you have them warmed up. You can also do some just moving your hands in and out, finger exercises to help get the blood and energy to those areas of the body. All right, once you've got that sufficiently accomplished, when you strike, you want to strike light to moderate. You don't want to go crazy, especially if you're new to it, if you're a beginner. All right, the idea is to avoid bruises at all costs. If you're bruising, eventually that will build up, and there are some people, because they don't condition right after years, they get arthritis and they get hand issues and so forth. That can become a permanent issue. Also, because all the energy, internal organ meridians end in the fingertips, whenever you condition your hands, there is some minute microscopic amount of damage that goes to those organs, those meridians, and translates into the organs. This is why we practice each breathing and other qigong to help keep the energy smooth and flowing, and that again prevents any health damage. And when it's done correctly, conditioning can actually improve your health because it's building up qi, as long as you don't go overboard with it. All right, in ancient China, they used to go crazy because they had all the most advanced herb wines, and it didn't matter if you got bruised. They could put not just Dida Jiao or other medicine wines, but much more advanced stuff that most people don't know or is lost today, and they would not have any permanent issues because of it. We don't have that anymore, so we have to train more slower and smarter, which is always good to do anyway. So when you're conditioning, you want to keep the hand relaxed, and if you're striking, let's say we're striking on the knife hand here, the cutting palm, all right, just striking it. Now notice I'm relaxing, then I'm tensing, relaxing and tensing just for impact. All right, and it's always good to use this form here. The thumb is always inside. Each finger is at a different level. All right, it forms a 45-degree angle right here. And as you can see from the top, each finger is curved more. And instead of the hand being like this, you want to push this out, the chest of the hand out. So this forms, this allows the fingers to accordion in case you ever get hit, or in fighting, if somebody happens to grab your fingers, this prevents them from getting damaged. If the fingers like this, they can be squeezed more easily. They could be injured if it hits something. Because if you're in a fight, things are going all kinds of crazy ways. You don't know what's going on as you're moving your hands, and you can get your fingers whacked. If you keep them like this, it's a much more safer way, and it can prevent a lot of damage and injuries to your fingers, because you don't really want to get your fingers injured if at all possible. And you certainly don't want to add to that one conditioning. So again, practice 100 strikes. You can do it like this. You could do it a little quicker if you want to, but it's good to hold it for a second to release that energy on impact. So again, you're going to do 100 strikes, and if you want to do it harder, all right, again, notice I'm relaxing, then tensing, relaxing, tensing. You can do a quick exhalation with each strike. Again, coming up, striking, up, striking. All right, same whether it's the palm, heel, and this one reason I like this rock is big enough, I can do them both together. All right, and kind of cuts down the time. So I can do both certain parts of the hand, the palm edge and the palm heel together, and then you can do your backhand. A little more difficult because you don't have the angle, so a lot of times I'll hold the rock this way and I'll angle it, so I'm doing it, I get more of a flat striking. I'll do it with the fingers stretched, and then with the fingers in a fist form. Same thing on, again, both sides, equal number on both sides. Now, as you're doing that, I said you can do the breathing with it or without it. It's up to you. Breathing with it technically would lead more chi there. So if you're conditioning with the backhand, I like to do it this way, get the angle correctly. And about that pace is usually good. Hitting with some force as you get, as your hand gets harder. I kind of rotate my hand a little bit. Rotate it this way as I'm conditioning to get different parts of the back of the hand. And then again to the fist. I hold the rock up like this, striking with these, mainly the two knuckles, but I'll also, again, rotate the wrist at times so I get all of it. And of course doing everything evenly. I'm just doing quickly. I'm only doing like 20 strikes here. So just to show you. Alright. Now obviously this is larger, this rock is big, and a lot of times it can be inconvenient. So a better thing is of course to get a brick, either from Home Depot or something, or you can find them around the neighborhood. And again, putting the towel around it, you can then much more easily hold this in your hand as you're conditioning. Some people walk around the house as they're conditioning kind of all day long, doing the different parts of the hand and so forth. So again, 100 strikes, you're going to relax as you're bringing the arm up, and then tense up that part of the hand, focusing your mind there also as you bring it down into the object, right? Whatever it is that you're using, brick, rock, wood, etc. All right, and see, here's where eventually, if you don't have something on it, even something smooth, it'll start to callus the skin and kind of make it look unattractive as well. And also it telegraphs that you're a martial artist. A lot of times in Gung-fu we like to keep a low profile and not really telegraph that we condition our hands and stuff. And most people today wouldn't know how to recognize that unless you're also a martial artist. But generally that's something also to be concerned about. But the main thing is, again, to protect the skin. All right. So, and if you're doing the fingertips, again, the best way to condition 100 strikes or so, even if it's 100, 200 strikes, light to moderate impact, even this will work. All right, this will build up chi. Lighter strikes tend to build up more chi and energy. But even a light strike, you don't have to kill it. You don't have to hit hard. Again, we don't want to cause damage. We don't want to injure the knuckles. We don't want to cause any arthritis later on. So you don't have to hit very hard. If you want to hit it hard, what you do is, when you get up to about 90 or 95, the last 5 or 10, you can really start to lace into it, because as you condition, as the energy gets going to the part of the hand, you'll start to notice that you can hit harder and harder. So the last 5 or 10, you really want to kind of start lacing into it. That you can do. And then again, when you're done, once you're done with both sides, you're lacing into it. Especially if you're hitting hard, massage. Massage the hands. You can also put them in warm water to help disperse any internal bruises. All right, massage the fingers. All parts of that you have conditioned. You can see a little bit of redness on the hand there. I think I just massaged it away, but anyway, make sure you're massaging good, kneading the muscles. This is mostly the palm edge is a lot of muscle. Palm heel is some muscle. Especially the bony areas, make sure you give them a good just general rubbing down. All right, if you have Dida Jiao, which is anti-bruise medicine wine, you can rub them on them regularly. Helps prevent any bruises and so forth, and gets the blood and energy flowing there to help heal. All right, so that's basic hand conditioning. And as far as the 5 parts of the hand, again, you have the palm edge, palm heel. You have the back of the hand, which these bricks are good for the backhand because it's just the right size. So that's why it can be good, beneficial to use a brick. So that's why it can be good, beneficial to use a brick. Right, for the back of the hand. Then you have the fingers. And in Gung-fu we have tiger claw strike, there's tiger, and gooseneck. So you have this form here, the gooseneck strike, and the tiger. and then the fist. All right, so it's basically basic 5-unit system, 5 parts of the hand to condition. And again, put that towel over it and relax it, then tense it up when you strike the break. So that's the proper way to condition your hands. Again, there's a lot of misconceptions out there and a lot of missing knowledge. So depending on how things go, I may start doing more and more videos helping to fill in a lot of the gaps. There's a lot of I get a lot of emails from a lot of guys on YouTube and other places through some websites, and they're very interested in really learning more. They really want to learn the old art, but unfortunately there's so few people out there teaching it, and even few teaching it correctly. So I'm going to do as much as I can to, you know, depending how things go, to share more of my knowledge and experience from learning from my instructors, nearly 28 years of training, and what I've read in over 100 books on the subject as well, and just experience and so forth like that. So that is a proper way to condition your hands.